Welcome back to my kitchen. If you are new here, my name is Christine Anderson. Today we are making the easiest, most moist coconut cream cake. This thing is so good. Come with me, let's get started. For this recipe, you will need a box of yellow cake mix, a can of coconut cream, a can of sweetened condensed milk, some sweetened coconut, 3 eggs, a cup of whole milk, and 1 stick of butter, which we will be melting. For this recipe, I am using a 13 by 9 inch baking dish, which I buttered and then lightly coated with flour, but you could spray it if you'd rather use a spray. Now I'm just dumping my cake mix into a large bowl. Whenever I do use these box cake mixes, I don't follow the recipe on the back of the box. I like to use this milk and butter and egg mixture. It just makes for a much more decadent cake. So if you are going to use a box cake, I recommend doing this. It just really levels up your cake big time. So just get all of the ingredients into your bowl. I'm getting the eggs cracked in here, as you can see, and then I am just going to give it a really good mix. You could use your electric mixer for this, and probably would have been a good idea. I just didn't feel like getting mine out, so I mixed it really, really well by hand. And as always, I will include the full written recipe down below in the description box. And if you have any questions about this recipe, please include them down below in the comments section, and I will be happy to answer as best as I can. Look at this beautiful cake batter. It smells so, so good. Anyway, I'm just getting it into my baking dish, and then I will be baking it just according to the box directions. So just whatever cake mix you get, just follow the directions on the back of the box and cook it accordingly. Just getting it leveled into the pan as best as I can. After it comes out of the oven and while it's still warm, then that's when you want to start the poking. This is actually called a coconut cream poke cake. So you poke it all over. You don't go all the way through the cake to the bottom of the pan. You go about 3/4 of the way down and just get as many holes poked into the cake as you can. Then I'm going to mix the coconut cream with the sweetened condensed milk. I just whisk it together to get it really well combined. The coconut cream is a lot thinner than the sweetened condensed milk, so just take your time and just make sure you get it really well incorporated. If you have trouble finding the coconut cream, which I did have a lot of trouble finding it at my local Kroger, but I eventually found this in the Asian food section on the bottom shelf, FYI. Once you get that combined, now it's time for the fun part. You just want to slowly spoon this over your cake and then kind of press it down into those holes. And do it in small little batches like this. If you were to just dump the mixture all over the cake, a lot of it just goes to the sides of your pan. So you really just want to take your time here and do it in these small little batches or spoonfuls until you use up all of your mixture. If you've ever made a tres leche cake, this is kind of the same concept. Also, just another tip to note here, I used a regular size kitchen fork to poke the holes, and that is what I would recommend. Some poke cakes call for larger holes, like the size of a wooden spoon handle. For this recipe, just use a regular kitchen fork to poke the holes, because that way the entire cake can get absorbed with this beautiful coconut cream. When I'm done with that step, I just get my cake covered and pop it into the refrigerator for quite a few hours so it can really, really chill. I ended up doing mine overnight, but you don't have to. Look at how beautiful this cake is. Even without going further, it would just be delicious if we stopped here, but no, there's more. We are going to top it with Cool Whip. I had a large container of it. I didn't use all of it, but probably 3/4. And of course, if you prefer, you could make your own homemade whipped cream for this step, and I think that would be really, really delicious. Next, I'm going to top the cake with my favorite brand of sweetened coconut, and that is Baker's. This is a 14-ounce bag, and I used about half of it, but again, this is personal preference. You could use as much or as little coconut as you would like for the topping. I'm just showing you here that I used half of that 14-ounce bag. And look at this, my friends. So beautiful and so delicious. I think this is my favorite cake of all time. It's so moist, and the flavor that coconut cream and sweetened condensed milk gives is just out of this world. And the sweetened coconut flakes on top, perfect. Make this coconut cream cake. Give it a try. You will not be disappointed, I promise. I just want to say thanks so much to each and every one of you for hanging out with me in my kitchen today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. It really, really helps my channel. Subscribe. It's free. I'll be sure to link my dessert playlist down below in the description box, along with other links to my favorite kitchen items. Thanks again for joining me today. Can't wait to see you next time.